even more crooked than they usually are. Whoa, that last bull was kicking, man. Power on it, like a strong horse. So we're talking about Dungeons and Dragons and why I don't run stories in any of my campaigns. It's pretty simple business. I think of Dungeons and Dragons as a sandbox game. I was going to say mud, but that's not the right word. It's a sandbox game. It's an open world adventure experience. And when you put a story in there that is the story of the entire game, you're not letting your players choose things, because ultimately they have to follow the MacGuffin of death with the mustache twirling evil guy to his ultimate palace of doom. And there's no other place the players can end up. They can go to places along the way, but there's a time frame, and there's definitely a place they have to be in this time frame. So it's not like they ultimately have choice. It's not like they ultimately get to decide what happens. I mean, you might say, but Tim, they could not save the world. But yeah, that's like lighting something on fire that they're sitting in. Be like, you could put the fire out or be burned by it. It's like, you're not giving them. You're actually removing the choice that the players have at the very concept of your campaign. And maybe that's where a lot of this friction's arising from, is because your players want to go out and upset the nursery full of children and murder the clown in front of the kids, because that's how some people, especially the people that played, D&D 3rd edition and 3.5 with me, that's how you rolled back in the day. That's just the way it was. Or they could end up with the thing, but that, the ziggurat of doom with Malcador the mustache twirler, sure, they could end up both places, but at least they have a choice at that point. The way I do it is a game mechanic called it's just a quest board, almost exactly like the Monster Hunter quest board, just adapted that it gives and you receive quests from it. So it's like you're playing multiplayer and somebody's already posted on the quest board and you're just accepting it. And that's the whole thing, is I don't have a story. I just have mechanics that get my players doing stuff. And the players are usually generally excited about the quest boards because I put thought into them to make them each unique. Like right now they're in the Dwarven town, so it's like this pneumatic powered steam engine thing with all these different little panels that pop up and they flop forward with the little thing, and a light shows up and that disappears, and it's a lot of panels super fast because a lot of quest boards all linked together in like an internet sort of deal. It's like that. Real fast. And this is just a game mechanic to get my players to do stuff and allow them to choose what to do, because I always give them 4 to 5 options. And I'm like, you could go do this land shark thing. You can go spot the doppelgangers and like the evil hands. You could go over here and do this other thing. But that's just the quest board. There's an entire world outside of the quest board available to the players. Like, they completely ignored the quest board for half of the last adventure, and they went to go swear to a dwarf lord. And I think that's why another, we'll call it I was going to say causality of problems, but that's not the right words. It's another fomenting of strife, is that the world is fleshed out in a very flashlight spot path sort of way. It's like, yes, you have a very intricate world in this very distinct part of the world that is, fleshed out like you ran down one part of a game map. Yeah, you just have the one part of the game map, and the players are kind of frustrated because you're corralling them into this one part of the game map. It's an entire friggin' world, guys. And my players, they're in the Dwarf Kingdom, but they all know they're not trapped there. I'm not trying to trap them there. They're just doing stuff in Dwarfland, and they're not exactly high enough level, like level 4 right now, to be teleporting to the different cities. But it's important to have a wider world constructed than, say, like 7 places where the story takes place, because your players might not want to be at those 7 places. Maybe they want to go find the richest dwarf alive and see what's cracking with him. Who knows? The key, I guess I'm getting at, is when you are enforcing a narrative in a story, make sure it's a narrative that gives your players choice of play. As I talk about in everything, I talk about avenues of enjoyment. Give them ways to do what they want to do, more, not give them ways that you want them to do things more. They're already doing what you want them to do. They're already playing Dungeons and Dragons with you in your world. You're God. Why is God telling them out? No, you can't get past that wall. The developers said we put a code wall there. Why? If they don't want to go stop the MacGuffin, let them not stop the MacGuffin. Let something happen. Don't make it a world-ending thing because that punishes the players. Make it a World War II level event. That's an apocalyptic event, but the planet didn't end. It would have changed for sure. Would it have ended? No. So think about it. If your players don't want to do the thing, don't make them do the thing. And maybe don't start a campaign where they have to do the thing because they might not want to. And there's going to be a hell of a lot of static from it. Peace out. I mean, just one more point. If you do have a group that wants to do stories, cool. But there's a way to do it. Quest chains. Just quest chain it. Be like, all right, you guys get to do this. And inside of a larger world, there can for sure be stories. That helps. But again, if they don't want to finish the quest chain, they don't have to finish the quest chain. They can stop at any point and turn back because they're bored. And if you keep your players doing something when they're bored, it's not good. Deuces.